Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about how to use a proportional scale divider to get your sketches more accurate.
Proportional scale divider is something that will help you get your drawings more accurate. Basically, this is what I'm talking about. And this one's a bit of a nice one. I upgraded to this one from this one. This one is a bit of a cheaper version, and I found it wasn't terribly accurate, and I found that it slipped, and these ends were sort of a little bit too inaccurate for my liking. So I upgraded to this one, and it's been well worth it. So I'll show you how to use it and what it's used for. So what I want to do is I want to draw this dog onto this page. Now I could, if I wanted to do it in this at the same scale, I could just use a light box, or I could just trace it if I wanted to, or go freehand. But I'd like to make it this size. So this is A4 size and this is A3 size. So I'd like to increase the size. So this is how I do it. I don't know if this is the right way, but I find that this works for me. So the first thing I do is I draw one central line through the whole picture, and it's got to be quite a visible line so you can see where it is. So here we go. You can, oh dear, that's marked the page. I'm not too worried about the background, so that's not a problem. Right, so there we go. There's that one. And now the vertical line, here we go. Right, okay. So now I'm going to do the same thing on my drawing page. I'm going to go a little bit lighter so it's not quite so visible, because this is just to help me get my proportions correct. Okay. And I use a mechanical pencil because I actually find that this gives me a really nice thin line. It's an HB, I believe. It just gives me a nice thin line so that I can easily see it and I don't have to keep sharpening my pencil. Okay, so to start with, what I'm going to do is, and it's a bit of a long-winded process slightly, but it's a great way of getting an accurate picture. So it's well worth spending time on this step. So what I do is I mark out little points on the thing I want to draw. Firstly, I do it on the line. So for instance, I'll be marking here and the top and the bottom and the edges around the ear. I'll also be marking the eye here, the folds in the skin here. So that's what I'll be doing. But before I do that, so a proportional scale divider opens up like this. So I know roughly the scale I want to go to here. Basically, if you go right to the end and you open it up, oops, then that will scale your drawing to the same scale. So for instance, this end is the same length as this end. So if I wanted to draw a dog that's the same size as the picture, I would just open it up to the very end. But I don't, I want to scale up. So if I wanted to go right to the end, that would make a really big picture. So maybe that's a bit too wide actually. Let's go a little bit further down so I can show you what I mean. So if you wanted to go really upscale, but you couldn't do it really because obviously this isn't big enough, you'd need a bigger proportional scale divider. But if you had something small, let's say you were going to just draw the eye, so you would get that scale, and you would, if you wanted to draw it this big, that's how you would do it. It just increases the size for you. But yeah, if you wanted to draw something this size on a massive scale, you'd need a bigger tool. I think this one's 9 inches. Right, so I know that I want to go around there, because I think that will scale it up for me nicely. So for my drawing, roughly, so the head is here, that size roughly, and in my picture it will be that size, which for me is what I would like. Right, so the first thing that I do is I start at the center here, one end, and then this end I place to the other end of the dog, and then I'm going to measure the same distance with the wider end. So I start at the center and I mark my point. I'm a bit pedantic about this, so please excuse my pedanticness. And basically I'm going to do this all the way around. So here we go. I come to do the other areas, for instance, if I want to I find kind of points that I think are the most relevant, and I draw those in, and then I connect the dots, so to speak. So for me, for instance, another relevant point would be perhaps here. So let's draw this one. So what I do is I take the proportional square divider, and I know that if you wanted to be really pedantic about it, you could probably use a ruler or a set square or something to measure that it was the correct angle. But anyway, I'm not that pedantic. So I measure it roughly there, and then I come back and measure it on the horizontal. There we go. And there we go. So I can see that my previous dot is here. So I'll measure it the same distance up and across. So I know that the edge of that ear now is at this point there. And I rub out the mark I've made before. Okay. Right, so I'm going to carry on with this, and I'll come back to you soon. So here we are. I've finished my sketch. It's probably taken me roughly between 3 and 4 hours, so quite a long time. It's not a quick process, definitely, but I think it's probably a lot more accurate than I could have done just from just from observing, because I haven't quite gotten that good at the initial sketches yet. So now I'm going to rub out the centre lines, and before I paint I usually do get rid of some of the darker marks and the spots. I'm not actually going to worry too much about the face because, as you can see, he's got quite dark features, especially where I've drawn the lines. So those will be dark paint anyway, so I don't think it will show up when I paint it. One thing I do want to mention with when you're using a proportional scale divider is that as you're going along, and especially with this model, I do find it sort of misaligns itself. That's why it's got this little bit sticking out there, and I find that after prolonged use it tends to sort of unscrew itself slightly and then misaligns very slightly, which will obviously affect your drawing. So every so often you must make sure and check that it's still aligned correctly, otherwise your drawing won't be very accurate. It is still better than the other one though. This one is the best one I've used so far. Right, that's it for me. This one is ready to paint now, and I think I will do that next. If you want to see me painting this, then I will have a time lapse of me painting this little dog. Okay, and thank you for joining me today. And if you would like to hear more from me, I will aim to do some of these videos regularly, so please subscribe and hit the bell button so that you see when I upload a new video. Thanks, see you guys.
I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you'd like to hear more from me, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when I create some more videos. Anyway, see you later. Bye.